Uniforms in schools have come back to be debated amongst the intellectuals for the different pros and cons that uniforms as a concept offer. The word itself denotes that it is an equalizer, uniform. Everybody looks similar in terms of their attire when they come to a particular place, whether it is a place of work, whether it is a place of congregation for religious purposes, social purposes, or for education. This simple concept initially was there only in private, religious, and to an extent parochial institutions. The recorded history shows that a standardized dress in the school or education system was first brought in the year 1222, that is nearly 800 years ago, when Archbishop of Canterbury mandated that students had to wear a robe-like outfit, which was called the capa clausa. But modern school uniform came in the 16th century England. The charity children who attended Christ's Hospital boarding school, as I told, education, healthcare, and religion were always congruent for a long, long time. The increasing usage of school uniform has triggered a debate about the pros and cons. The traditional use of uniform, which was established in England and even in USA, was for a long time limited to private institutions and institutions which were patronized, sponsored, and funded by particular sects. For example, in India, when we studied in government schools, there were hardly any uniform, especially in the boys' schools. Initially, uniform started in the convent schools or in the missionary schools. It was adopted then in girls' schools. When education in its elitist form became popular, the first adoption of English school system was found in many schools in the form of uniform. Increasingly, uniforms are getting adopted in higher education also. We have seen that in conveying a uniform approach, a uniform is always prescribed, be it a hotel, office, be it a factory, aeroplanes, school bags, school accessories, and school dresses. Various governments started providing, so mass production and mass supply got facilitated because of the uniform. Many schools decided that school uniform should be mass produced for parents to buy easily and for suppliers to benefit out of the mass consumption that could be there in the market. Increasingly, as developed countries, which are the original proponents of freedom of speech and freedom of choice, are bringing in system of school uniform. For example, today Philadelphia has 100% of the schools which have school uniform. New Orleans has 95%, Cleveland has 85%, and Chicago has 80%, Boston has 65%. So strict dress code in schools across America and Europe has risen from just about 50% in the year 2000 to about 60% in the year 2010 and to around 65% in the year 2020. As school dresses and school uniforms like industrial uniforms and office uniforms are getting adopted, let us examine some of the pros and cons of prescribing uniform. As for school uniform, it is observed through data that school uniforms deter crime and increase student safety. Students get easily distracted when there is a difference of dress. Uniforms help in focusing on the education and not on the dress. The school's own pride, school's own branding, the school's community spirit is also supported by having a school uniform. Mothers who make their children ready for the school find it easy to get them ready when not much to be decided about which clothes to wear. For outdoor activities, for keeping the flock together, taking them to museums, taking them to study tours, school uniforms have been found to be the right amount of discipline along with cleanliness and having a fellow feeling. In terms of the negatives of it, of course, the first one is the freedom of expression. Individuality is accused to be sacrificed through school uniforms. Parents also believe that if they can afford, their children should wear clothes that express their social status. When it crosses the boundary of bringing in social cohesion or institutional cohesion, has always been found to be either politically motivated or an inefficient operational thing. In my own personal view, uniforms are good. Uniforms break the barriers of class in a positive way. Uniforms, when worn decently, can get rid of some of the class backgrounds and physical deformities. However, we must stop it somewhere. Some allowance should be given for students as well as for workers to match their uniforms with something they like. Thank you very much.